You used to have beard envy. Also, it's recording right now. You used to have beard envy.
Yeah, as a little girl with this like the lamest mustache that I still got made fun of. And okay, so how long do you usually go for?
Like an hour.
Okay, great. So because one time I was on this podcast and it was like we're so deep in and the guy was so excited. I'm like, it's not appropriate for me to be like, yeah, so what's the time commitment? Because that wasn't clear in your all lowercase fucking booking email.
In an hour, regardless of what's happening, or roughly around an hour, I'll stop it. We can continue the conversation if it's that deep. But yeah,
As a person that writes in all lowercase myself, I
Mhm.
find that very familiar and very unprofessional. If you are a production assistant coordinating COVID testing for your talent, use uppercase and punctuation. I'm a little nervous about a shoot that I have tomorrow. It's going to be a shit show. It's
What-
all lowercase. It's just background work.
What is that? What is that like to be doing it, if you will?
Well, for those of your listeners who have not seen season 552, episode 2 of the new South Park, Black and Brown Bodies
Mm-hmm.
are the only way that white people can make money anymore. They're realizing. So they just need melanin. So, like, I did a vegan cheese commercial recently, and I was the hand model, paid hand jobs. What? Still never feels like you're getting paid enough. And the food is the talent, you know. And then they're like, "Can we get those brown hands? Where's the brown hands, bitch?" They're like, "Okay, good job, brown hands, bitch. Great. They look beautiful. Now just pick up the cracker. No, deep subtext intended there, and move the cracker around and put down the cracker. The cracker would be bland without your beautiful brown hand to give it some essence."
It seems like we're finally. Nah, that's not the right word. I was about to say like we're coming up or whatever, but there does feel like there's a sense of smoke screen. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like when Miss
And like they're making the smoke, so they're just exhaling, and we're like, we're the secondhand smokers. They're like, "Do y'all not know about secondhand smoke?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" No, and now it's like illegal to smoke everywhere,
Yeah.
and they're like, "We came up with that."
This podcast is going to really reflect your personality, and I'm excited. Okay, so you remember being a kid and seeing film? I assume you were into film growing up.
Oh yeah, I'm a big cartoon person. I find cartoons to be magic, to bring still image to life onto a screen. I can watch like old Disney shit, and I'm like, I don't care how anti-Semitic he was. This is magic.
Did you watch a lot of cartoons in India? When did you move from India? How old were you?
I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. I was born in Pittsburgh. And it sounds like something obnoxious that I'm saying because people always ask me, were you born in Chicago or in India? And I have to say Pittsburgh, and it sounds like I'm just avoiding.
Black and yellow, black and yellow. Okay.
Is that a Pittsburgh reference?
Don't worry about it.
Is that a sports reference?
Yeah, that's a sports games
is
reference.
Is it really?
Yes, that's a
I
ball
thought
game reference.
I thought it was rap.
It is a rap. It's a rap song in reference to a sports team. This is. I'm glad.
So
this
I
is,
got it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm killing it.
Yeah, you are killing this podcast.
I was born in Pittsburgh, and all the cartoons. No, we didn't really have like Indian cartoons. We just had imported American cartoons, and there would be dubbing, and there was Indian programming, which was pretty. I mean, kids these days are so spoiled. Kids are so spoiled. If you are a person from another country and your kids are only speaking English, that is on you. Bad parenting, because truly they're in front of screens all the time anyway, so you can get them like Russian cartoons, Lithuanian cartoons, Japanese cartoons. They're beautiful Hindi cartoons now that it's like I'm watching this shit and I'm like, this is a great way for me to study my Hindi as a 38-year-old adult learner. Because I think with the topic of language, there's very much this cultural conditioning that if you don't start young, then it's too late.
You can learn as you're older. I learned sign
learn
language
anytime.
when I was like 19. Sorry, I mean, I already explained why I'm off, but for the context of the listener, money stuff and mental health stuff. So I'm gonna be off this whole podcast. I'm very upset.
I'm going to share a Zen koan with you.
Let me listen.
2 monks come upon a river. There is a fair maiden trying to cross the river, and she needs help because she's a maiden. You know how maidens be helpless.
Mm-hmm.
The older monk looks at the younger monk. They both share this glance like, damn, we both took a vow to never touch bitches. But this one...
Are the monks allowed to say bitches?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay,
I mean,
that's fine.
it's intention, you know.
Gotcha.
It's about the intention and the tone.
Okay.
We're not allowed to touch. The older monk, without saying a word, picks up the maiden and he carries her across the river. And he puts her down and he continues his journey. The younger monk is like, damn. For hour passes, 2 hours pass, 3 hours pass. And he's like, how could you do that? How could you pick up that woman and carry her? And he says, brother, I put her down like 3 hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?
You can't see it, audience, but she's doing a lot of spiritual movement. She's creating her own bell sounds.
I'm like a bell come to life.
Yes, there is light.
I'm a temple bell.
There's light emanating from her crown chakra.
I'm levitating.
Yo. Okay, tell me if I got the chakras correct. Okay.
Okay, but do you see you didn't even receive the koan, but you have come into the present moment. It feels
that
like
means I received it. That means I received it.
Great,
Yeah.
you did receive it. Good.
Yeah, look at you with your wisdom.
I know. Versus, I don't want to hear about that shit. You know, you gotta code it.
No,
Throw some poetry on it. Throw some koan.
It was very smooth.
We were at the river.
Solid transitions.
It's beautiful.
Okay, the root chakra. That's your grounding. That's your.
What do I look like? Google? I don't fucking know.
Yes, you do.
This is so racist. Go on.
No, you sent me that mystical Indian man on YouTube. You know.
Literally, that is a Guatemalan Mayan shaman from Latin America.
Does that not sound mystical as fuck, though?
His name is Martin.
Is his name Martin?
His name is Martin.
He sounds very mystical.
His name is Martin Prechtel, and he does this whole invocation in Mayan that's like Wachnabe, Wakalaka, Lika, Wikalikale, and it's like there are so many mystical places in the world, and I'm glad that India gets so much hype. I don't think any brown people are making any money off the damn chakras. Yoga is like $1 billion industry.
So you got your culture got gentrified.
Oh, I mean, it's different though because we're not directly dehumanized like black people are. You know,
I'm listening.
Indian people are a race of brown nosers biologically.
Brown nosers?
Yeah, our noses are brown because
literally or figuratively?
You know, Darwinian evolution, we used to be white, but then our noses have been so far up the ass of the British that we are now shit stained. And that's why I'm brown, because I've been so far up the ass of the monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave us the trains, which is fine, you know, and they took all our diamonds.
I'm sure you would have figured out the trains eventually.
You would think so, but we really credit them. We're like, man, those 400 years of colonization and all of our Indian wisdom being burned and all of our scripture being burned. At least we got the trains, though.
Does India fuck with white people like hard?
I mean, Modi is our prime minister, and he is like the inspo for Trump's Twitter existence.
Inspo?
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Like inspiration board? Like a mood board?
Really?
You know?
I wouldn't have anticipated that. What's going... Okay. Culturally, what... So they... Man, I'm a great interviewer. So... So...
He's just glitching out, processing.
Well, because you... I know I compared you to St. James last night. Do you remember what I said?
Oh my God, because I got a great body. Thank you so much.
That's right. Every time I see St. James... Have you seen this motherfucker's abs?
He's got like 18 abs.
He has a needless amount of abs.
So many abs.
St. James, you have too many abs.
He's like 21.
Please give me some of your abs, because I could utilize them, please.
Oh.
Very attractive man. But you both have this air about yourselves that makes everyone feel like they're your best friend.
I know. Imagine if I was a boy. I would have been so fucking killing it at that age too.
You don't think you can kill it now as an estrogen?
As an adult woman? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But in my 20s, no. I would have been raped so many fucking times. Everyone thinks that I want to fuck them. Bro, it is called eye contact. Relax. And that's a lot. That's a lot to navigate in your 20s. It wasn't until I was 25 that it was like, oh, I'm a woman. I'm a woman. We're not just like people, and we're just, some are in man bodies and some are in girl bodies and some are in boy bodies. Because I was traveling, I was in Italy. I was living with this Brazilian girl that I met in India because she was taking clothes made in India and she was selling them at markets, just a very kind of street performer style, street festival. So it's not like we have a license. It's very pirate style without sounding like I'm appropriating, the Pirate of the Caribbean franchise. Johnny Depp, please don't come after me. And she invited me over because she's like, these people, not only do they want to dress, but they want the story. They want the narrative, and we're going to give it to them because you can sit there and say one sentence in Italian. They'll be so impressed, and then they'll be like, for every dress that I buy, one of this Indian girls, one of her cousins, will get to go to medical school in the village or something, and like these rich Italian women are okay. The rich French women are really scary, and you have to be mean to them so that they're mean to you back. It's kind of this like, you have to be disgusting. I don't know. French people, disgusting.
Keep going. Please keep going.
And we were staying with, the thing about traveling too is that money moves everywhere. Energy moves everywhere. People have a lot and want to share a lot and want to invite you into their spaces, especially when they're not there. People want their stuff to go to use. Otherwise, it's like, what are we doing? We have no humanity left, and we're just all having these huge spaces. So she knows. I know people in Rome that we could probably go stay with, but I know squats that we could stay in for sure, and not that bad. Running water, electricity. What else do you really need? But we were staying with this guy that she was fucking for sure, and there was like Colombian guy, Italian guys, obviously, in the Argentinian juggler squad. That's how I started juggling, because of these Argentinian guys. And I was sharing a bed on the floor with this Colombian guy, Andres, and he was so cute, and we weren't even like, and it's these things where young people will say things like, I'm cool, let's sleep in the bed together, but let's not do anything. Like, we're just gonna snuggle, and let's not even snuggle, And then in the night, something happens, and in the morning, I'm like, oh my god, are you my boyfriend now? And Chini's looking at me, the Brazilian girl, and she's like, Sonal, we are not children in some cartoon trolls movie. You are a woman with tits and an ass, and he is a man with a penis. I feel like I have to scream this for the listeners because it's like, this is shit that we're never taught, And she's like, if two bodies lay in a bed together, odds are either something's going to happen or there's going to be a sexually frustrated somebody. Usually it's the man. And that's not to be misinterpreted as like, okay, now he wants to connect that to a future together, And it was like, oh my God. And I'm not even realizing myself as an attractive person until I was almost 30. And even that is something that really wavers, You're like, I look fucking weird. And you see pictures of yourself and you're like, I don't know what that is. So, no, I would have been very confused. And it's a lot to navigate and direct so much energy in your 20s, and what is everyone's intention. And, when you're responding to stuff, it can take up so much of your entire being. And if you got to go on stage, and you got to kill it. You got to leave that bitch on the river. You cannot bring the bitch on to the stage and be like, yo, I'm so sorry. I'm about to bomb because I've been on the phone with my health insurance for the past 3 months trying to schedule a goddamn dentist appointment. Because, it did. It took me like a year to get a dentist appointment. And I had to wait until I was like 32 to start. I had to have a whole ass broken leg motorcycle accident story, like complete surrender to the universe, and like, okay, I literally need my leg to be broken and forced to stay still in one place so that I can then evolve and stand up. Dun, dun, dun. We love that.
One of the things I very much appreciate about you specifically, but the comedians in general, is the complete, I don't know if it's understanding of self, but embracing the self. That's the weird, the not weird, the likable, the unlikable, and so on and so forth.
Oh, I was such a bitch when I was 22. Oh my God, my stage name in India was Razor Bitch.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Then I had to have this bitch to bliss transformation because the thing about being a bad bitch is that it's tiring.
In what way?
You kind of are like everyone's go-to angry person, you know, and it's like something happened to me. I'm going to get Sonal to come say some shit. And it's like, nah, I'm good. I mean, what the fuck? Fight your own battles. But when you're young, you're like, I want to show up for people and do things for them. And we enable each other. It's like the blind leading the blind, and everybody, I was kind of everybody's like go-to angry person. I mean, in India, it's so fun too to yell in public because like even my 10 doesn't even register on the
India.
spiciness scale.
In Chicago, your 10's probably like a
Lock her up.
Okay.
Lock her up. Lock her up. That's me being political.
But in India, your 10 is probably like a 5.
No, like a 1, like a point.
Oh, that's
two.
That's horrifying.
It's like no, because I don't have any clout over there. I'm a mess. I'm like a genetic experiment. You know, I grew up here. I'm like a cartoon character over there. I've been so mad, and I've had a full bus of people just like, look, madam to gussa ho gayi. They're just like, look at her. She looks mad. Hilarious. You know, they don't give a fuck. They don't have the luxury of leaving the country. I'm just in talking shit. I'm gonna leave anyway. They don't give a fuck. They're like, good for you.
So your behavior in America would be perceived very differently in England, in India.
I mean, I'm scared of the cops in America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hell
You're not scared of the cops in India?
Here's a quick travel tip. If you happen to be smuggling some hash in your secret lady pocket, that means you're yoni.
I was gonna say anus.
That's not a secret lady pocket. That's not gender specific.
You're gonna be sexist then, and
I am being sexist.
You're gonna be transphobic. So a transgendered female.
Everybody's got a butthole. You can stick drugs in your butthole.
So why can't we just be across the board? The drugs in the butthole.
Well, I don't have experience with that. I'm trying to speak on my own experience.
Okay, fair enough. Your own experience.
And this is bad interviewing. This is bad. This is totally taking the interviewee off topic.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, you're right. I took it off topic. That was my
Luckily for
fault.
me, I'm so good at being interviewed. I know exactly where I was.
Okay.
But I've been through so many police blocks. Or I've never had drugs in my butt, but I sure have had tons of drugs where a tampon could go. And if you don't want to go through that little scanner thing at the airport, you can be like, I think I'm pregnant. And then they'll be like, oh. And then you could be like, I don't want that machine to fuck up my baby. Because pregnant women have incredible power. And I've gone through so many police blocks where the road is like completely blocked in India. And I'm like, watch this. And I just cruise up along, like, you know, what would be what do you call that? The side of the highway?
Yeah.
Well,
the off ramp.
That's to get off
the place where you're supposed to go when your tire pops.
Yeah, and you just ride up that, and if you do that in the States, maybe a cop will come out and, you know, but that's just called the fast lane in India. You know, you go around the cars. And I've just rocked up on all these police bugs like, I am pregnant! And these police will literally be like, whoa, and like jump out of the way. Like, we do not want to fuck up this baby. It's a very, you know, energy, belief culture, so it's like the idea of like nazar lag jayega is like bad luck, you know, so it's like I don't want this woman's baby to get fucked up and then I be cursed, so it's just easier for me to let this bitch go on through.
Whereas I don't believe the police over here care about curses. That's not they're not opening umbrellas inside of doors, or they don't care about black cats. They're not walking under ladders.
I mean, I could try that. I could throw a ladder out next time a cop is trying to approach me. I'd be like, you got to go under that ladder to get to me. They'll be like, I got away. So easy. It worked.
Do you genuinely feel unnerved around the police out here?
I mean, I've been, we've all had, even see, I've been pulled over. I grew up in the burbs, and going home from the city, I've been pulled over so many times on some shit that's like, you didn't use your indicator. And it's like, I mean, I'm a brown body coming home at 3 a.m. And I mean, one of my best friends, her name is Madi. She's Mexican. She's married to a white dude named Jake. He's a principal. He's amazing. He's also really good at taking bird pictures. So quick Jake shout out.
Shout out to Jake's bird pictures.
He's a white man. And he has been pulled over by the police so many fucking times. And Marty is like, do you know that these police will literally just have like conversations with him? Like, is that a Nikon? What Nikon is that? Oh, is that a picture of a bluebird? Gosh, I love bluebird. Well, you were speeding, but keep it speedy, or whatever the fuck white people say to each other when they're like, ha 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 ha, we have all this stuff. This is so great. I love colonization. Fuck all these brown people. I mean, I don't know what people sound like. I'm assuming that. I got pulled over on the south side of Chicago, like dropping off CDs to a friend's house, coming
CDs
home from college.
What year was it?
The whatever year that was.
All right, because if it was like 2019, anyone having CDs is shady.
No, I mean, that's why I said CDs, so that you can figure out the timeline. And it was
and
long enough
pizza.
ago.
Okay.
It was long enough ago. Yeah, I know. People talk about drugs so casually now that weed is legal, and I am so not comfortable with that. People are like,
Wait. So you're comfortable with talking about shoving drugs up your vagina meat and then going into...
Yeah, because this is a podcast, and
But
that's
you're
in
not-
the past. You're not texting me, can I have weed right now? I'm coming over. Here's your address. Then you're like, what's your address? I'm like, you're the biggest fucking narc ever. You are the worst buyer of drugs.
Are you talking to me specifically, or are we saying
Definitely
general
you,
Oh, just me
specifically.
specifically?
Oh, definitely you. Definitely you. Nobody. What?
I'm from California.
I know. In California, you're just like, I'm going to surf down a pile of sticky icky.
Yep, that's all.
you
We
know,
all ride
like, just
surfboards.
throw
There's no
some-
cars.
Exactly. You just surf on Maui Wowie.
Yes.
The streets are lined with fucking weed, and that's fine. But here in the Midwest,
Yeah.
it is really illegal. And back in the CD days, I got pulled over, and there was a white dude with no license in the back of the car. I'm driving a car that's not our car. This is college. We're borrowing somebody's car. It's like an unregistered vehicle, and my license is suspended. Marty is in the car. No, Marty's license. Somebody's license is suspended, and they find the tiniest bit of weed, and they say to the white dude, they're like, "Look who's hanging out with the Mexicans tonight."
But how you were Mexican?
And Marty's like, she's Indian to the police, and they had nothing else to say. They were like, well, we're out of our racist words now, and now we feel vulnerable because we were wrong about something. And they kept us there forever. They were like, you're breaking so many laws that this is way too much paperwork for us, so we're just going to let you fucking idiots go, and we're going to make the white guy drive who doesn't have a license.
Do people in India, are they aware of how bad it is over here in terms of racism?
Oh, they don't give a fuck. They're like, shut the fuck up. Have you heard of the caste system? Send us some dollars, Mukesh.
Can you, for the ignorant layman who is not me, can you elaborate on the caste system?
The caste system is a deeply codified system of racism that keeps people stratified in such a way where you are being huge cons to people that look just like you. And some of the most stunningly, shockingly beautiful people I have ever seen in my life are the lowest caste people, who are the untouchables, and there are people that there's even caste system within them, which is so crazy because I was living in Rajasthan, which is a desert state in India, in 2004-05 when I was studying Ayurvedic massage, which is like Ayur means life and Veda means study, so it's the study of life. And I'm sorry, I got distracted by the phone. That's very rude of me. I was in Rajasthan. What am I talking about?
You're talking about the caste system.
The caste system. And I'm there with and these little like street kids are such hustlers because tourism is such a huge part of the economy. So these little kids, they come with these beautiful eyes, shining eyes, and they're like, hello, madam, please, one rupee, rupee is the currency, no, 1 rupee, 2 rupee. Then you give one, they're like, about 10. Just give 10, and they're like, oh, they're like, if she's willing to give, she's got more. Once they get you, they won't leave you alone. They're like, hola, Coca-Cola, s'il vous plaît. They speak all the languages. They will come at you like full Japanese to these Japanese tourists. It's amazing. And then I would be rocking around with these kids. And there was one time where they were sharing water. And then I see within them, they slap this one kid's hand, and they're like, no, you can't drink water from the same container as us. And they're like, we are musician beggars. We play music and we beg in the street. He is just a beggar. he is a caste below us. So within them, they stratify themselves. And I'm like, hey, y'all are broke as fuck. And you should take better care of each other. Or I don't know, that's such an American concept. And that's when the reincarnation comes in, where you can be reborn and you can move up in the caste system. And then
This is
you
Hindu?
This is Hinduism, yeah.
Okay.
And then you achieve enlightenment, which is then liberation, moksha, samadhi state, where you actually transcend the physical form and you become like pure energy, light, or something. I don't know.
Okay. So I was about to ask because I know that if I understand correctly, my theology, Buddhism is a connection from Hinduism. Is your person here?
It's fine.
Did you wave
Buddhism
at
was
somebody?
born from Hinduism.
Oh God damn! All right. Okay. Hey, come on in.
Buddhism is a response to Hinduism. Buddhism is a response to the caste system.
Okay.
Because the Buddha was a prince. He was a prince of the kingdom. Where did the Buddha grow up? Siddhartha. He grew up in someplace in India, and then he was like the most spoiled prince. And there was a prophecy about the Buddha that his parents. There was this.
Oh, can I do it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I got this. All right, Avatar, don't fail me now. So
Avatar the cartoon.
yeah, that's where I started. That's what got me into Buddhism.
I love that. I love that. Guru Patik. Shout out to Guru Patik for getting everybody to eat the mashed bananas and.
Who's that?
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
Guru, what is it?
That's Aang's guru.
Guru
That's the brown dude in Avatar. Obviously, I know his name because I'm
Clearly.
like, that's my guy.
You're killing
That's
it.
my guy.
Okay, so we have Siddhartha. Hello. Hey, no, this is a lackluster podcast. Don't you worry. You're welcome to talk, and they won't be able to hear you.
Kayla, you will not say a single fucking word until we are wrapped. No, she's so
Thank you.
professional.
She's very professional. Can you do my hair
Just
later?
came from work. She came from work. She came from work.
We'll talk later, Kayla. So Siddhartha.
Siddhartha.
Siddhartha. So that dude, there's a prophecy that he was either going to become.
This is so funny. Y'all be talking shit to me when you say mouth sauce, MILD. I'm like, what are you saying? Chicken and mild sauce? And the man's like, yeah, mouth sauce. And then you make fun of me and you laugh in my face. It's Siddhartha, okay? Thank you. Go on.
Siddhartha.
No, that's not it. But
I'm
anyway,
doing
go
my
on.
California accent.
Go on.
Siddhartha. So Siddhartha. There's a prophecy that he was either going to become a great leader within the kingdom, or he was going to become a great spiritual leader. One of the two.
And then
Dad
was like, "Fuck no!"
And they gave him everything. They threw everything. They gave him food. They gave him massage.
And
they gave him pussy. They gave what else? Did they give him?
They kicked out everybody old. They got rid of anything old, anybody sick.
Oh, I didn't know this part. Okay.
They made this whole fake ass. There's got to be like
Truman
Gattaca
Show.
style,
Like
like the
Truman
Truman
Show.
Show.
Okay.
Exactly. There
So-
we go.
so
they
they-
made a Truman Show
They made a Truman Show
for
for him.
Gautama, and Gautama's like, "This is wait, did something just die?" And the Truman Show's like, "Oh shit, let's get production on that real quick,
Right,
clean it
right.
up." No, just confuse him.
So they put him in a situation where it was just completely out of the realm of what is real in the world. And so then one day, I assume, saw something that was off.
Yeah, like
And-
something gray.
Right.
And he's like, "What is that? Is that a color?"
And so he decides he wants to learn about the world. So he leaves the kingdom for the first time. And he meets, it's always in a rule of three. Always.
He sits his ass under a tree.
I thought that's where he meditated for 40 years or
I
whatever.
mean, I don't remember who he met, but the response was
Well, before he did the meditation under the tree, if I remember
he
correctly,
met somebody.
he saw a sick person, he saw an old person, he saw a dying or dead person.
Yeah, probably.
And then he realized, the world is not what I thought it was in the kingdom. And then the tree meditation happened, and then he became the Buddha.
Yep.
I'm the Buddha.
Now link it to Hinduism.
Okay. So we have the same logic, except
I'm like a very Socratic podcast interviewee.
Yeah.
Like, you got this. Figure it out.
it's the same logic, except I don't
He
know.
wanted liberation for everybody. He wanted spiritual enlightenment. He wanted Anand, ultimate bliss.
That sounds more like you, but you're Hindu.
I mean, this is now Western duality and shit shifting shit up. I mean, it's just evolution. It's like energy moves. So we could be like, this is a river, this is an ocean. It's all water.
Okay, you just got real heady there. Can you put
Yo,
it?
that was bars. This is a river. This is ocean. It's all water, baby.
So what you're saying is,
Buddhism,
let me
Hinduism,
translate this.
Islam.
I'm gonna translate this.
Let
for
me
the
tell you right
ignorant
now, that
Americans.
prayer shit they're doing, that's yoga, okay? We came first.
So what you're saying is, there's not much of a difference outside of the class system, and even that is nitpicky.
Oh, girl, I mean, beyond nitpicky, you are tiptoeing. You see the iceberg and you perceive the iceberg, and you're like so impressed by the tip, and you have no idea about the 98% that's underwater, because there are armed Buddhists who are killing Muslims with guns in Myanmar right now.
I
You know,
believe
like
you.
there's a genocide happening right
where-
now. So
where-
Buddhism does not mean
Yes.
that you sit under a tree and you chill.
Wherever.
And there's a great movie called Samsara where there's a Tibetan Buddhist who is actually born into the monkhood. He leaves that, he gets this woman pregnant and has a kid with her, and then he bails on her again to be the spiritual leader, which is what the Buddha did. He had a wife, and a kid, and he bailed on them. And he's like, I have to have enlightenment. And she's like, word. Do you ever tell anybody about the sacrifice and how our suffering led to you being the guy now? Because we love a little bit of, we don't even need the shout out. It's fine. We're women. Nobody gives a fuck about us. You're welcome for existing.
Where you find religion or human collectivism in general, you find fucked up behavior. Where not even collectivism. Where you find humans, you find fucked up behavior. And as beautiful as the tip of that iceberg can be, as soon as you dig a little deeper, you find a lot of darkness. I view that as in America as well.
And I find it very interesting because it's not like you're trying to divide me from Buddhist. You're like, no, you're not Buddhist, you're Hindu. You're just trying to understand.
Yes, I don't. For me, my
And I'm like, fuck you and your Western duality, fucking basic bitch, bullshit. And you're like, oh my God.
well, the equivalent to that would be Christianity and all the different sects of Christianity here. And there's I grew up in a Baptist church.
Yeah.
Kayla.
And the commonality is like, y'all have bad church food. You need to turn up.
It's fucked up, right? So religion in every country and every
Do you want to wrap our episode and just do Kayla while she's here?
do her like, oh no.
Like
We're-
shove this mic up her butthole. That's what I meant. No, like record a podcast episode.
We'll do it. Like, Kayla, we haven't met we don't know each other. We'll talk in a second.
Kayla's going to be putting you to work, and she's going to be yelling at you about your resume. I was
I'm
like,
in my
sure,
boxers,
that looks
so
fine.
This is a wonderful way to meet.
Kayla's
Kayla.
going to be like, that is the most whack-ass resume. So it's a good combo.
We'll talk, Kayla. I know she's being her. I believe you're nice. I love black women.
What the fuck does that mean? She's being her in my motherfucking house.
You are being you in your house.
Okay.
This is you. No, this is why I like
Let's get
you.
back to the podcast.
Okay, the podcast is I really Okay. Like you are able to can we talk about me for a second? Let's talk about me. Let's talk about what I'm going
I don't even know what the purpose of this podcast is.
to get to know people.
Is that what it's called? Getting to know people.
No, it's called Join the Journey podcast.
What about chasing the journey? I mean, isn't that more obvious branding?
Yeah, okay. Well, you
don't like the chase thing?
it's a whole thing.
Hashtag Chase Pink. You should get sponsorship.
Yep, I should get a sponsor. Yep, they're totally gonna sponsor a guy who doesn't have $200 to pay for therapy. They're gonna sponsor me.
I mean, that's the here and now. That's why you need the sponsorship.
This is
so
true.
that you can go to therapy.
Hey Chase, can you help me out so I can get some fucking mental health? Anyway, one of the reasons why I enjoy you and the people in Chicago in general is I'm gonna compare myself to the Buddha God or whatever the fuck. That feeling of I obviously where I came from was not perfect, but there was this smoke screen. I know we talked about that a lot. Where I came from, there was a smoke screen to say like, hey man, everything that you're around is totally fine and normal. And
Okay, so that sounds like a lot of gaslighting where you're like, this is not normal. This is fucked up. And
Right.
everybody's like, no, shut up. It's normal.
yes, that's 100% what it was. And then in moving here, I and getting to know people out here. One of the things I've been learning. Kayla is so respectful. I can't. Kayla, are you a comedian? Oh, you're.
Stay focused.
I'm gonna stay focused.
Stay focused. You, in the middle of your sentence, you're gonna talk to Kayla after we rap. Let's rap and roll.
See, but this is the thing: is that you're not even talking in the mic, and you're talking some shit about professionalism. Anyway, I'm just watching them do drugs. That's all.
It's medicine.
So coming out here was really important to meet people that are like-minded,
who are like, shit's fucked up.
Well, shit's fucked up, and
It's so smoky.
understand that it's really fucked up. But understanding that there are people that are like me. I know that there's this case to be made about, you know, standing on your own 2 feet and find happiness within yourself. They're hugging hands right now.
Yo, you're so bad at this. You definitely.
I'm fucking great at this because it's about authenticity.
I'm sorry, but I was saying you need a tribe. You have to find your tribe.
There you go, tribe. Thank you. You're what, Kayla?
Are
You're
y'all
welcome
allowed
to
to
throw
say
this
that
in.
word? Are we allowed to say that
I
word?
am Native American.
Tribe.
Are you for real?
Yes.
Oh well.
See my 23andMe?
Yes, I do.
Finding a tribe. I don't feel like I mean,
I probably shouldn't say it, but it is like your collective, your group.
Yes.
See, you did this. She doesn't have a mic. You invited this.
No, it's
energy
okay.
in,
It's okay.
So keep it focused.
I got it. I'll get to know her, and then eventually we'll do the.
Edit this shit out.
I'm not going to do that, but yeah.
That's on you.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited to get to know you.
Sorry, it was a long day.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sonal's a good friend. Letting me be here.
I believe you.
Letting me interrupt your podcast.
It's when you know what my podcast is, you'll understand that this is totally apt to my podcast. Regardless, finding my tribe, that's a good way to put it. I had a tribe where I was from, but it didn't fit me. And then coming out here, I've come to realize like, oh, the type of people that live in Chicago are my tribe. But I'm coming from decades of abuse, mental and emotional and physical abuse, constant. And so now that I'm out here, I meet people where I'm like, oh, I want to connect with these people, but I don't. I fuck up with the way I speak. I've told you a story already that I want to tell on this. You know.
I mean, I think that my journey of self and feeling that like I was razor bitch, and that gave me this voice and persona and a mode that I could be in on stage, that then helped me to realize how that was affecting me, and I was an actual bitch that has tobacco in it, which you should assume when I'm protecting. I'm not trying to keep weed from you. There's weed everywhere. Doesn't make any sense.
Or what was it? CDs. There's CDs everywhere.
So in terms of my persona being on stage, and then it was like, it's not a persona, that's me. So I'm becoming this bitch. And the name that started as a game is now achieving a different level of fame. And when I became Razor Bliss, there were people who approached me and were like, I didn't want to talk to you when you were Razor Bitch, because that's a lot, that's intense. And now there's a softening that's happened. I mean, you can never ditch the bitch completely, but it's not ready, to attack and react and respond. There's moments now, and it's like, that's not sustainable to be angry all the time and to be wrapped up in how other people are thinking and how other people are responding. And now if you have clarity that you want to get good at this thing that is stand-up comedy, then you focus on that, and mistakes are going to happen, and dissonance is going to happen, and the restoration of harmony, it's waves, ebb and flow. So you're going to find the people that you vibe with and also can hold space for you and witness you when it falls apart, and they can laugh about it. They're not like, oh my God, this dude can't even hold a conversation. He's a fucking liability. Keep him out of here. It's like, okay, it falls apart, and then it comes back together, and we can laugh.
I think where I came from, it would fall apart, and there was no coming back together. There was no laughing at the situation. It was laughing at Aaron for fucking up.
Right.
And so out here, I don't feel that with everybody, and I'm developing that. But at the same time, I think what's difficult is that, because this is one of the reasons why I did this podcast in the first place, was so I'm better with people one-on-one. I think I've told you this, and I want people to get a chance to get to know me and understand why I may be doing the things I'm doing or behaving the way I'm behaving. And going to Red Lobster, seeing how many people, like I walked in there, immediately got claustrophobic, and I was like, I don't want to be here. This is too many people.
Which is so funny, the parody of comedy too, that there's so many of us that are extremely high anxiety people. Not me, I'm chill. But there's so many of us that are super high anxiety people, and then we respond, and that's also a spectrum. And introversion versus extroversion is a spectrum, and where you identify on the spectrum, you identify as an introvert. I am identified as an extrovert, but a lot of that is an act also. You know, I'm a juggler. You know what juggling is? Is playing with shit around people and socially avoiding situations, but it looks like you're interacting because, like, oh, look, she's right over there spinning something around. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to talk to any of you hosts. So I'm being an extrovert, but I'm actually being an introvert, and I'm tricking everyone into thinking that I'm socializing, you know, and then you find people that you interact with that you fuck with, you know, and I mean, yeah, you're here now, and people, I'm astounded by the way in which people care about you and show up in ways, because again, people that start doing stand-up really young, then they have those relationships, and it's hard to know who your real friends are because you have a lot of stand-up friends, you know. And now I started in my 30s, so I look around and I'm like, these are my friends from before stand-up times, and these are the friends that I've made through work, and these are work relationships and people that I'm delighted to see. And it's also very easy to be a mirror, and if somebody is showing up like, what's up, you know, it's easy to just reflect that back. It's not even my own energy. I'm just taking the energy that people are giving to me and giving it right back.
I think that's what impresses me about you and impresses me about St. James. I really, for whatever reason, you guys are very similar to me. I did the podcast with him, and you guys have a similar feeling in the way you seem to approach the world. And what's impressive to me about that is your adaptability. And I don't feel like, and first off, to start off, it's okay if I don't have that adaptability. I'm trying to be me. Whatever me is, I'm trying to figure that out.
I mean, you're cultivating adaptation.
Well, I don't have, I'm just Aaron at this point, and I can tell that some people are really put off by that. Is that okay? Yes. Is that going to happen? Yes. But I can't deny that that's not terrifying or a strange feeling, because I have left everything behind to come out here and start fresh. First time in my life doing that, and building this up is it's a mind fuck. I'm exhausted and I'm tired.
Yeah, I mean, it's so different for you because you are here so solo. You know, I went out into the world alone and found that there is nowhere that you're truly alone. You know, especially as a woman traveling, you always get kind of grouped together with people, and it's like, oh, who's this? Oh, you speak Spanish? Okay, ¿por qué? You know, and then I'm with the Spanish mafia in Rajasthan, you know, and they're like, okay, we're doing this psytrance party in the desert, and now we're all family and crew or whatever, you know, and we're tribe. And I'm like, well, okay, I don't know. But there's a lot of people also who, at the expense of their families, because we all come from some level of abuse and some level of trauma, especially out traveling. You find people that are pursuing a more comfortable situation because they're leaving something super uncomfortable and often really traumatic. And for me to then, again, be in that place of ultimate vulnerability where my leg was broken, I don't know what the fuck's going on with my leg, I have to come back to the States. I came back to Chicago, this place that I hate because of parking tickets and it being expensive and the cold, you know, and the cold has been such an amazing motivator for me to travel and to return to my family and to have this healing with my mom and dad, where it's like understanding is so limited, but love is limitless, but requires a lot of work. So we have to all be willing to show up for that work, and you know, that's not up to me.
Can we, for a second, can Sonal stop juggling for a second and just get real with me, man? Just get real with me.
Okay.
I said it last night, but I wanted to say it in person. I really appreciate you and your help. Oh, look at her eyes. No, because I wanted to let you juggle for a while, because that is who you are, and I like seeing who you are. You're a fascinating person. I don't know if you Kayla's like, girl. She's not saying it, but that's the head movements. and you seem like a wonderful spirit. I know we talked a little bit about first meeting, at least awkward for me at the. What are you saying, Kayla? Just say it.
I was just saying wonderful, fantastic energy aura.
Yes, fantastic energy aura is what Kayla said in case you can't hear it.
Sitting here in her house is really helping with some fresh air and just trying it.
Kayla, can you speak in the microphone real quick? Because I feel like they're going to want to hear who you are real quick, and then we'll go back to my emotions about the Sonal. She said, okay.
My name is Kayla Pulley, a.k.a. The Ratchelorette. And you know what? Like, I can really relate to a lot of everything you all are saying. Yes, I am a Virgo. That's why I took the mic prepared. Come on. I can relate to a lot of what you're saying with like trying to find out who you are and how that changes, and like being artists, like when we present a certain image and then that's like not who we are as we grow as artists. It's hard. I'm the Ratchelorette, you know, and it's just like people said something early on about like that might not be good for your branding, and I think maybe it wasn't in some ways, and then I really became the Ratchelorette, you know what I mean? And at the same time, like, I'm still her. I love her, but now I've moved on to like there's another part, but it's all like that's a part of like this is my Instagram shit. You know, it's a part. It's like my web series. It's a part of who I am that I can't erase. But as hard as I'm trying to grow and become a different version of that too. You know, like, and it's hard, and it becomes easier when you do find like your ensemble. I was thinking about it. That might be a better word. Ensemble as like your group. You know, the people you can like create with, like you do an ensemble. Yeah, so like wonderful discussion. Thank you all for having me. Is it okay if I use the bathroom? Will that make too much noise?
You're fine.
That is a very inappropriate question to ask me in my house. For anyone who is invited into the space, I would really appreciate if you just find the fucking bathroom yourself and use it. This is not a classroom. You do not need a hall pass. You do not need a hall pass to use the bathroom in my house if you are given the invitation to my house in the first place. I think that's the thing that people are not as, you know, are inviting of people and into their spaces that they don't actually want. And then people have such unclear boundaries, you know, but if you only allow people into your space that you only want in your space, then you're comfortable with them and want them to feel comfortable.
And that even ties back to what I'm saying, which is you seem to understand yourself. And I remember I remember immediately it being awkward, at least for me, and we talked about that a little bit.
Me too.
Yes, and then as the night went on, it got more comfortable, especially during that card. What was the game?
When you came at me, bro, not fishbowl. The who would it be?
Who would do such a thing or something like that?
Who would do it?
How did I come at you?
You kept pointing at me like everything. It was like, who would be unnecessarily obsessed with their butt pointing at me?
Because
and I'm like, there's a lot of booty in this room. Why me?
Because you were the loudest.
There's a lot more booty in this room. My booty is so medium.
That doesn't mean you can't be obsessed with it.
I mean,
regardless. I am searching for. She just called it an ensemble, a tribe, whatever it is, a community, and I am desperately searching for it, and part of that is probably not healthy. I need to learn how to pump the brakes, and I've done that a lot as well, and let that community naturally come to me. I think when you grab at things, it evades you, but when you let go, it comes towards you, right? And so what I'm trying to do is let go while also searching. It's a whole thing. You get it.
Okay.
And so as exhausting as you can be, as I'm sure you've seen me be very tired around you.
I mean, that's so funny because you're like, oh, I've had awkward interactions and I feel like people are off put by me. And I'm like, I mean, quote unquote popular people are as annoying as fuck as they are popular to. You only get the good feedback. You only get people being like, I just love your energy. No one's coming up to you like, I find you chaotic and loud and jarring.
Oh, yeah, there's all that, too. Do people not tell you that?
Nobody bothers.
Oh, okay.
Nobody bothers.
Because you have to be aware that, like, it's exhausting.
Nobody
right?
bothers to be like, well, that's what's so funny, too, because it's like, yeah, I can take up space, but I love naps. Do y'all know how much I rest? I don't know if people realize. They're like, oh, my God, you have so much energy. Like, yeah, because I rest
that makes
deeply.
sense.
I go hard. I rest hard.
Regardless, I do very much appreciate you and your help and your suggestions and just being patient with me. I don't think I was given a lot of patience where I was from, where it's constant abuse and then behavior that is erratic and negative because of abuse, and nobody's like, maybe he's doing that because bad things are happening. And there's no asking, what's going on, buddy? There's none of that. And so what you have provided in the space for me is a feeling of being understood, or at least an attempt of understanding me. And that's not even just you. Most of the people on this podcast have given me the space to fuck up, because I'm going to fuck up a lot because I'm me.
And I think, the perspective that is gained from traveling is we in this country truly don't understand how incredibly blessed, and when we say first world problems, what that means, and even to have space to feel our own feelings, because when you are so deep in a unit and a function of, like, you're in the caste system and you are a toilet cleaner, and that's a lifetime of that shit, and you are born into 18 brothers and sisters and your mom, you don't have time to be like, I'm gonna kill myself. That would be so selfish to even consider that. Just culturally, there are different things. I mean, I know that mental health and suicide are now like conversations that are starting to happen globally, but I'm very much in. I'm like, oh, mom, I'm on my period and it hurts, and my mom will be like, that's because you haven't had kids yet, and God is punishing you, so your periods are more painful. If you had kids by now, you wouldn't have a painful period. That's what happened to me. And like, not only is she believes these things that she's saying. She's not like trying to be funny. I'm the one that's like, I have the tools to turn that into, okay, now let's take this raw shit, this toxic waste, and alchemize this into something like, content for a podcast, and something that we can laugh about, and something that we can use to get to a place of empathy and gratitude. Because gratitude, in the seas of consciousness, we can get really sucked into depression and sadness, and these are big bodies of water, and these are big emotions that can it's very difficult to navigate through them. So the practice of gratitude is something that people don't really do properly, because they start listing things that they're grateful for, like, oh, today was sunny, so I'm grateful for that, versus I'm grateful for this super fucked up thing that happened to me, because it gives me the insight and the empathy and the experience to now have humanity and to be a more experienced human being on so many different levels. And it also gives me the tool to be more forgiving of her, where it's like that's her whole programming, is just she's so obsessed with being a grandmother. That's all her brain can do. So now I just say, I hit it too hard at the gym yesterday. I had gym day. And she's like, oh, really? That's so great. You're trying to keep your body fit so that you get, okay, you want some Advil? You want a hot pad? And I'm like, this bitch, I'm playing her like a fiddle. But it takes lifetimes, to learn how to manipulate each other into having good experiences.
Okay. I have a question for you then about me then.
Okay.
Okay.
Girl, it's on the fridge.
Kayla's gonna get the Wi-Fi.
This is like a
password.
hostel.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Aris7305 for all the listeners, if you're ever at my house and need the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. All my 7 listeners. Hey, Johnny Gold. So I think what I'm struggling with is finding the balance. First off, the gratitude for the struggle I go back and forth with, but what I have trouble with is finding the balance of being my purest self, whoever I am, while also understanding that by being that person, I can hurt other people, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to use that example, that story I told you. I'm sure you remember it. I told that
But for your listeners, let's.
No, we're not telling them that story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember.
You remember? Do you remember? Do you actually remember?
Yeah.
Okay. That is me being me, and that is me being purely unfiltered and like, oh, this is the information that's spewing out of my mouth. But to me, in the maturity and the experience and understanding how it affects other people, it's like, well, me being me in that situation was very hurtful to a person and is not necessary. It isn't, in my head, it's like, it's not, I don't need to say everything that comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And so finding that balance of letting go and just being me while also not completely upsetting and destroying other people's emotions is what I find trouble with. Okay.
So what's the question?
Fix the problem.
Well, I was like, there's no question in
No,
here.
just fix the problem. Say another.
There's so many things.
Tell
There's
me
so many
another
things.
Avatar: The Last Airbender guru thing, and so I can fix the problem. There's so two old men go on a boat.
We have to allow people to feel. We have to allow people to feel, and we have to, one thing that I will say, and this is some Avatar level shit. We want to fix, and we want, even your impulse to there's a problem, fix it. There is a process unfolding, and when a seed is planted, you can't just yell at it to grow. There's a process that unfolds, and we know to wait. We know when the patience is there. So people's their own center of their own universe. So there are forces at work. There are karmic stories that are unfolding that are bigger than us as well. And that whole idea of shifting to gratitude is also not sustainable, because we can't always be operating from gratitude. It serves us to be sad. It serves us to have darkness, because it's from the darkness that we experience and perceive the light. And it's annoying if it's light out all the time. It's like, it's fucking bright.
It's California.
Pull the curtains, please. It's so bright all the time. So it's the balance, right? So then showing up for yourself as you continue to evolve with the process of communication, which is truly the hardest part of the human experience, especially when we're coming from generations of don't say shit about shit, don't talk about anything, are you feeling a feeling, gay? It's like now we're in a time of hyper feeling where it's like, I now feel that I should feel responsible for feeling all of my feelings and communicate to you all of my feelings because it's my process. And it's like, whoa, chill. Take everybody, get a fucking journal, write shit out, and there's so many tools. So what resonates with you, because you're seeking therapy and but now there's this incredible resource of this man that you think is Indian and you haven't even finished listening to the YouTube thing. There's so much wisdom there that you could there's so many tools available to you that I'm saying, but instead your energy is caught up in this, like, but I'm trying to do this thing and I can't get it. And why are you operating from that place instead of a place of surrender? So I think surrender is also something that we are so far away from, and we have to constantly remember to surrender, because we feel like something is happening to us instead of, okay, it's happening as it is. Let this unfold. And when that impulse to want to fix things and what can I do, this is a very powerful thing that an ex said to me, and it felt like such a moment of liberation, where he said, I don't know what to do and I don't know what to say, but I am here and I love you. And it was like, that's what's up. I don't need you to fix shit. You don't know what the fuck is happening. I just need to be held and witnessed and feel like it's okay that shit's not okay, because that's part of it. We get tired and then we feel awake. We get sick. People are so scared to travel places because they're like, you're going to get sick. You're going to get healthy also, and maybe even healthier than you were before with your little, over sanitized fucking clerically clean body.
You remind me of a mixture of St. James and Matt Bright.
I love that those are like the comics that you've met so far that are loud.
Well, Matt hasn't been loud.
Oh, you haven't seen...
I haven't seen loud Matt.
You haven't seen Matt when the cops are called and he's fighting with his man. Yeah, Miss Brown? Matt Brown?
Now I'm confused.
Matt Brown, like light-skinned, from the middle of Illinois, has beautiful makeup. Gay man, Matt Brown.
No, Matt Bright.
Oh, you said Matt Brown.
Did I say Matt Brown? I meant Matt Bright.
Yeah.
I was like, did we just out Matt Bright? Hold on.
Matt Bright's
Whoa.
dating a woman.
Yeah, I know. That's what
They're
confused
like engaged.
me. Sorry, MB. Yep. Kayla, don't you be making faces and laughing at me. Matt Bright. I said Matt Brown. Michaela, did I say Matt Brown?
You know, there's a lot of Matts. We
I said
can,
Kayla. God
we
damn.
can.
Have we hit an hour? Well, I won't be.
It doesn't matter, you know. Let's use this as a teachable moment right now. You know, this is like a mistake has been a mistake. Oh, Kayla said no. I sorry. Are we punishing him? Is this? Are we man?
I was saying you were.
But then I'm talking about you never seen Matt Brown when the cops are called when he's fighting with his man.
I don't need to hear about.
But I'm saying like how you said the wrong name by accident.
Yeah, well, I swear I said Matt Bright.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like it's
right. I was.
What I was saying, the teachable moment is how he's feeling right now.
All right.
I don't know what she's talking about. I'm talking about the teachable moment of how I definitely. I don't know what your editing process is. If you listen, it sounds like you just put it up.
I just put it up. I find little clips and moments.
Anyway, the teachable moment is how agitated you feel right now about what? About like bad podcast content or the fact that you made a mistake?
No, I'm not even agitated. I'm just trying to make sure I clarify that I was comparing you to a mixture of St. James and Matt Bright.
And I'm like, good for you. You have people that you know that you feel remind me of you.
No,
okay.
Not of me. Of
me, whatever.
This is just a mess now.
I mean, I get it a lot where it's like, oh my God, you know who you're like? You're like this person that also exists. And I'm like, okay.
Right. No, I do that. But that's what I do regardless. Not a
especially when it's like, you totally don't know them. Oh my God, isn't she like this person? We got to get a picture of you. Can you say some shit? And I'm like, oh.
Good.
Cool.
Wonderful.
I know that I exist.
Wonderful way to end the podcast. It's been an hour. Okay. This will be an interesting one. You don't want to say anything before I end it?
This is your podcast. You are the captain of the ship. You should navigate the journey.
Join the journey or join the chase?
You should
chase
navigate your journey.
Should I chase the navigation?
Yeah.
All right.